Today we're going to talk about what you repeat, you become. And I want to talk about this largely for people who are unconscious of their own behavior. And for the sake of comparison, we have the amount of people who go through life sleeping. And if they repeat something while they sleep, they simply become that. But that's not what you want. You want to be a conscious individual and repeat only things that matter for you. You want to upgrade yourself in the areas that matter most. And these are health, wealth, and relationships. And so what we're going to cover today is basically part one, repeating something you must do to achieve results. And we have number one, your choice. Now you must accept responsibility. Number two, accept the good and bad until you transcend. With other words, love it. Number three, finish it. You're gonna finish where you start. Part two, employ enforced discipline, living by principles. And we have number one, doing the thing you know is good for you. Number two, not allowing your mind to tell you what you want. Number three, become a detached operator. You want to employ here a direct doing of things with no feelings. And we have part number three, the act of active self-directing yourself. And we have point number one, control your state at will. Number two, become aware of the power dynamic. Number three, choose habits that compound with interest. And number four, be constantly aware of the society, trends, conformity, in contrast with your self-agency. Let's begin. So what you repeat, you become. I'm talking about your habits and the way you operate unconsciously, right? Because basically most people just operate on default, learned patterns. You want to be different because if you want to have a life lived on your own terms, you want to be living life in your own way. And so what this means is that if your current reality is not what you want, you got to take on somebody else's reality. That is somebody else's ideas. When you see a proven idea or a proven point or a lifestyle or a way of living, and it actually works for that person, is because they do something differently than you. So you must employ what they do, basically. If your way is not working, try somebody else's. If they brush their teeth, do the same. If they go to the gym, do the same. If they look after themselves, do the same. Just don't sleep on yourself. Don't be unconscious, okay? Because this compounds, and this is what you become. Because the thing you start is what you actually become. And also the thing you start will also own you. You begin something and that something will own you. You will be the slave of that habit or vice or whatever you're dealing with of a negative nature that's got a hold on you. And so what you want to do is just to simply wake up from this game. Look at yourself concretely. Look at what you do unconsciously. See the direction for your life. See where you want to go and simply take it slowly. Take it step by step. If you want to live the life of that future version of yourself, you want to start dressing like them. Not necessarily by saying having the money, relationships, and everything of the material nature that comes with that. What you want to achieve is first the mindset and begin the small changes at first. You don't want to be thinking too much into the future or project to become overwhelming for you. So what you want to do is just to start slowly and you begin from there. Trim your nails all the time, have a fresh haircut, go to expensive places, just touch on the lifestyle of the future version of yourself and you will see it's possible to change as soon as you put yourself on the frequency. Obviously change the things you do because that's what you ultimately become. And this is largely unconscious. It's largely unconscious because most people are sleeping through life. They're sleeping their way through life. That's the last thing you want to do. So when you listen to my message now, take hold of your nature, of your own manhood, of your own being, and start changing yourself. Because as soon as you hear these words, this is basically awareness. I'm bringing awareness into your life. And so what you want to do is simply take stock of yourself at first, right? See what serves you, see what doesn't, and change. I said how. Take it step by step. See your current condition, set a new direction for your life, and take it from there. Write it down on a piece of paper and begin implementing those changes. Begin to talk like that person, like the future version of yourself, and you will slowly become it. But please, when you do this, it's a very important warning for you to understand and to know here, is that please don't deviate from your chosen direction. Always stick with it, because it's going to become it. If you constantly change your order in a restaurant, you're not going to get anything you want in the end. You're not going to get anything at all, actually, because they don't know what to bring you. So same way it works with life. Choose something and become that something, but be dedicated to it. Because if you change your mind from day to day, you become nothing. It's just like when you go in a taxi cab and you say, take me there, take me here, and everywhere. They won't know where to stop you, where to leave you. So if you have no destination, you're surely not going to reach it. Same with your life. Same. So as you're going to see, start living by principles. And how's that going to help you? So we have part one, repeating something you must do to achieve results. If you have something you must do, to achieve results, then you must do it. And we have point number 1, which is your choice. And now you must do it because you've accepted responsibility, or you should accept responsibility, take on responsibility and make that be your choice because you're an energetic individual now. So if your choice is yours, then you must follow through. You gotta accept responsibility in order for you to grow. There is no other way. Experience is what sits at the basis of you. You need to understand this. If you don't know how to do something, if you lack the technical skills, for example, you still accept that responsibility. I'm not the one who says it. It's Grant Cardone, and I'm just doing it, and it works because it's better to be heard and seen than to be a nobody. Remember this. So always accept responsibility. If somebody sees potential in you and you're still at the level where you don't really believe in yourself, then accept that responsibility and please do your best and follow through. The ways will be there. The means will be there and your ability will be there as soon as you take charge and you take responsibility and you follow through. But let's say it's your choice in you pursuing your course of wanting to change and living a better life. What do? Well, first of all, you must accept responsibility because this is the first sign of maturity. And after that, you follow through. It's your choice and your actions will have to bear responsibility. When you say, I'm doing this because I am, you're automatically responsible. And you remember, you're responsible because you exist. So take it with good and bad. Don't take credit for the good thing. Take credit for the bad thing. This is the best way to grow and move forward. Number 2, just as I said, we also have it. Accept the good and bad until you transcend. Love it, with other words. Here, you must love what you do, either good or bad, because this is the ultimate way you transcend. What transcendence means here? You step onto a new plane of existence, the next level for your development and your ultimately way of upgrading your life, if I can put it that way. So what you have to do here is to accept responsibility, use what you have at your disposal, do your best, and only when you follow through and only you respect these conditions, obviously accepting responsibility for everything you do, that's when you can only transcend and see the next possibility for your actions towards your vision. This is the only way. And I want you to love it, as I have it here in my notes. And love it because you must, because otherwise that thing is going to own you. Because when you love something, you don't resist it. And please employ non-resistance when you accept responsibility. If you accept responsibility and you also love the thing, even if you're not passionate about it, but at least you force yourself by showing yourself that the thing you now do is the way to get where you want. And only when you do these, you will be seeing the next possibility for your advancement of any nature on any plane. Money, health, wealth, and relationships, and whatever you want and whatever thing you work on right now. And next we have point number 3, finish it. Now this might sound simple at first, but the reason most people give up is because they too overwhelmed and they don't see the results beforehand. We want to be certain that what we start is going to end in success, but obviously life doesn't work like that. It requires faith, something most people never discover, never employ, never consider asking, never at least try to have faith or follow through with their own power without being necessarily backed by God, the universe, or outside resources or forces. So they quit, which is the opposite of what I'm asking you to do. Society quits. There is loads of quitters around you. There are. So finish what you do. Finish what you start. Finish everything. Finish all the projects you have opened and start new ones, right? But start them fresh. Start them with the idea that you're going to finish them regardless of how mediocre they're going to be. Because the more you finish stuff, the better the next stuff is going to turn out to be. And also ultimately, again, what you repeat, you become with regards to experience. The more you finish stuff, the more experience you have. So in repeating, in what you want to repeat, precisely you want to finish stuff. This is very important. Nothing great has ever been without that thing being finished, regardless of the nature, right? Look at the pyramids. Look at what the Greeks have built, right? There is loads of CEOs, loads of founders that have worked long hours into the night and they finished what they started. You need to have your vision with this. It's not like something you start something and then you finish it just because, right? You need to first have the frequency behind the thing when you want to finish it. So in repeating, a small thing I will ask you to do is to also have a vision for what you want to do and what you want to finish by what you actually start. And so how you cultivate this vision is a thingy for another time. But for now, just remember, as I said, you have your small vision, the identity you want to develop, the character you want to cultivate, and so on. Considering this idea to be the end goal of what you want to become in this lifetime, then you can work on it by finishing where you begin. Finish everything regardless of the level of how good it's gonna turn out to be, because you will improve anything. You are a constant work in progress. Don't forget, this is where you are. Part number 2, employ enforced discipline. Living by principles. What living by principles mean? So, first of all, living by principles, for me at least, is that you need to have some values you don't back down from. For example, a bodybuilder goes to the gym because this is what they are. They live life through their own principles. So you want to make some negotiables with yourself, like waking up, going to the gym, coming back and working on your business. As simple as that. If this is the lifestyle you envision, if this is the principle you build, then this is what you become, because you repeat it. And that thing is going to own you. Remember, what you repeat is going to own you. And also remember that results are not going to show up overnight. So keep pounding, keep working, day in and day out, until results will show up for themselves and people will wonder. But people, you don't look at them, you look at yourself, the past version and the future version, by living in the present of where you've been. So living by principles, create some non-negotiables with yourself. And by the way, we all have them, they're just unconscious. The fact that you have the same routine, you like the same food and so on, and you see the same friends and you drive the same thing, that's all perfectly fine. But remember, back of them is principles. They reflect what kind of standard you hold with yourself, for yourself, about yourself, and the way you envision yourself. And this projects your self-image and the paradigm you hold and you run by. But obviously this is all changeable, which is something I'm working on, and I highly suggest you also do, right? So analyze yourself, with other words, and create yourself some principles, some non-negotiables, as of what's the person you want to become, and start living through that person in the present moment. In a few years, not now, because I'm not going to promise you now the change, you will become this person. The person who started since day one to make the change and to become this version of themselves in the present. Because everything is easily achievable if you start small. And we have point number 1, doing the thing you know is good for you. What this point says, I know I have to do something, and that something might require discomfort or leaving my comfort zone. If I said to myself, if I set my mind to something, I'm not gonna have but just the nicest looking and respecting wife. I'm not gonna drive or have own or anything less than this or anything else, but just this thing or something better than it. And I know that that's what's good for me, then I'd better get my ass working on that. Why? Because I know it's good for me. Why would I lie to myself when I know that thing is the right thing for me and I don't want anything but the best of that thing, or even something better than that, something better than the best? And as soon as I know that thing is the right thing for me to do, because that's what I want, nothing else, then I'd better become that person that has the thing. But you see, we're not talking about the things here, like as in physical things or material stuff. We're talking about precisely the mental plane, the mindset, the person, the identity that's living life through principles. And so I highly suggest you look at yourself. I'm not gonna ask you to make any list or anything. Just do the thing that you know is good for you. And ask yourself, what do you think is good for you to do? What would you want to stop doing? And what would you want to implement? What would you want to start doing? What would the future version of you would be doing? And remember, because I want to put this side by side with the fact that your time is running out and that you are finite, you're already a dead man walking. So please understand, you have the power to do. Power and ability will be there when you try to do those things. So choose what you want and choose something big, something nice, and you will grow in that direction. I promise you, I guarantee you. The whole universe proves this. Look at the lives of other people who have something you want, and you can clearly see clear proof of what's possible for you, what's possible to become in this body, in this plane, in this lifetime. If they have something you want, as in character traits and all that, then you can become that. If you want to speak like somebody you like, you can start speaking like somebody you like tomorrow. The only reason you don't do it is because you're concerned with what people think about you, or the fact that you don't feel like you're natural with that, but you like it, you admire it. So why not have a combination of trying to be yourself, but under that persona, like an alter ego? You can try, you can start. That's the beauty of being flexible, of doing the thing you know is good for you. So please consider the whole dynamic, make the list of what you know you can change, because that's what's good for you, and begin the change by taking smaller steps towards it. Part 2, not allowing your mind to tell you what you want. Right here, you need to understand that your mind will come up with so many scenarios, because these scenarios stem from the need of survival. Your mind will try to keep you alive regardless. This is the way it operated for hundreds of thousands of years. And so in the present, civilization is not used yet to the safety we surrounded, but it kept the mechanism of coming up with stories and coming up with narratives that don't really help you that much these days. The only way you want to tell your mind, the only way you can let your mind tell you what you want is precisely when the mind has a positive narrative or expects a positive outcome. So given this evolution of the mind trying to come up with scenarios and all that, it will come up with the worst case scenarios because it wants to keep you alive by simply reminding you of what not to do. And so your job is to act as a filter, because if you let those stories on autopilot run in your head, they will get into your subconscious mind and you will become the result of those stories or of those narratives. Okay, so not allow your mind to tell you what you want. So now we know that you have the need for survival wired within you. That being part one, you also have part two, which is conditioning, largely at scale, given by schools and society in general. That includes your parents, your friends and media and everything you see around you. So to a large extent, you're the result of these influences and they have their own share in your mind. Now this is not a problem because you see you're surrounded by safety, you have good clothes, you drive something nice, you have something to watch this video on. So society is good to a certain extent. But when it comes about the personal potential, then that's when things get squeaky, because society wants to cultivate robots. It wants batteries to sustain itself. It's like an organism. It wants to live, but it's got enough batteries. Let other people be the batteries. You wake up and choose your own direction. So choose your own mystery, choose your own story. So under any circumstance, not allow your mind to tell you what you want. Number 3, become a detached operator. What operator means? Means somebody, a leader in my opinion, who basically just executes. They take bold action towards what needs to be done. And we have here the direct doing of things with no feelings, no emotions. This is what you need to understand. You want to start doing things with no emotion. Become detached. Become this operator, as we call it in this context. You want to choose what's good for you and then do that thing. But first, try to feel it. I'm saying with no feelings, but first have the feeling of, I know this thing is good for me. I feel it. Regardless of how much work it needs, this is the right thing. I feel this is the right thing. Have this inner intuition tell you what's the right thing for you to do, and then you become the detached operator to do the work. You use your body as a tool, as a machine. Your mind and your conscious control will operate this machine, your body. As long as you feed it, you rest it, you embody it, then you have the right to live through it exactly what you want. But be detached. Be a detached operator. Do what needs to be done at the right thing. Be smart about it. Listen to your intuition and have no feelings when you do the work. When you work on everything of either nature, regardless of the project, you need to execute fearlessly and be relentless with your game, regardless of your trade. Be relentless. Be a leader. Take the right action at the right time because you will feel it when it's like, but be detached. And obviously apply non-resistance to things. And this will give you a state of power and you become this detached operator. But number 3, the act of active self-directing yourself. What self-directing yourself means? Again, it has to do with how you control your mind, as I said earlier. But there is a subtle nuance here. You want to be directing yourself. You want to be directing how you feel. You want to look at your nervous system and see what it feels. And do risky things despite that. It's like they say, feel the fear and do it anyway. We're not going to do that because your nervous system feels the fear. But you become the observer in this time. Right? Because you act from the spirit within you. Within you, there is a spirit. And your nervous system is just the cables. They will always get scared because they want to keep you alive. And any risky action will trigger the nervous system. And as soon as it gets scared, it's going to trigger the fight or flight response. Perspiration, heavy breathing, blushing, and all that. Like when you approach a girl, when you do a presentation, public speaking, and so on, you know. So you want to self-direct yourself. And we have a few points on this. Number 1, control your state at will. You want to use NLP at first. Here's how you use NLP. First of all, there is 2 parts to this. First of all, it's called state interruption in neuro language programming. So the goal is a sharp, surprising shift in input, so the pattern can't complete. So you basically want to change your physiology. It's like standing up abruptly or moving to a different spot or changing your breathing dramatically. It's like a double inhale through the nose and a long exhale through the mouth, or even shaking yourself, shaking your limbs. And then you reframe it. This is part number 2. of state control. You reframe it. You basically change the meaning. It's like when you see your heart starts to beat. For example, my heart is pounding because I'm terrified. Becomes my heart is pounding because my body is mobilizing energy for something that matters. So it's the same sensation, but different story. This is how you change the meaning of things. The trick here is for you to believe it. You don't want to overlie to yourself. You just want to change the meaning of what actually happens. Treat your nervous system like just cables and wires. That's it, because that's all it is. Of course, people can argue it's more than that, but just like hardware is in a PC. You have the software, where you think, your mindset and all that thing, with the feelings and everything, and the hardware on a different side. So when you see yourself taking risky action and you see your nervous system trying to come up with something, so when you see your nervous system begins to do its thing, just understand that is survival at stake. It's nothing that's gonna threaten your survival or your well-being. Your nervous system is just doing its job. And you want to reframe that consciously. This is how you take conscious control of your unconscious behavior. And we have point number 2 here, which is be aware of the power dynamic, the frame. If you want to be powerful in any conversation, consider a cooperative frame. This is how you win rap battles. When somebody tries to make fun of you, when somebody tries to be passive-aggressive with you, just consider everything a cooperation. Have this frame in mind all the time. This is how you become supreme. This is how you change the power dynamic in your favor, by becoming a cooperative individual with a person that tries to do you harm of a psychological nature, by trying to control you or trying to tell you what to do or trying to take hold of you or try to acknowledge their supremacy or something. Just consider everything a cooperative frame, and all the time walk straight, eyes ahead, chin up, and just keep your chest out. So far we have the control your state at will and also have a cooperation frame with everyone around you, because you want to self-direct yourself, and this is how you bring the unconscious into conscious awareness. Especially when you try to be powerful with yourself, take hold of your mind, take control of your mind, and direct yourself around yourself and around other individuals as well in a proper manner. You can read more about the state control and frame control by studying social dynamics. And these 2 points are here precisely because I want you to self-direct yourself around other people, but precisely around yourself. Number 3, choose habits that compound with interest. Wow, this is my favorite. If you choose something today, if you still do it in 10 years, you're gonna become an expert. There's no guarantee that this is gonna happen, but if you employ studying and learning and all that, you can become. But let's say this is not gonna happen. You will still know more than the average person. You will still do that thing to perfection, better than majority of people, and you will become an advanced student of whatever thing you undertake. So please consider what habits you now do that will compound with interest. You want to have a closer look at these because they will compound, and what the interest is. For example, if you go to the gym for 10 years from now on, when you step into a room, first of all, those people are going to notice your body. That's the first level of self-respect people are going to see that you have about yourself. Based on this, they will treat you or not with respect and attention. So it's worth considering what you want to have compounding with this interest we're talking about. This is very valuable. So pick habits that will bring you the best lifestyle, as we talked about at the beginning of this video, and will turn you into the very best version of yourself. Pick these habits, be tough with them, have them, because you will become them. Okay, so choose some habits that will compound with interest. And here are some suggestions I have for you, and I highly recommend you pick some and do them. Read 30 minutes a day, which is 20 books a year. Compounds into pattern recognition across fields. Write daily, even 200 words. Sharpens thinking. You should be writing daily, even 200 words, because it sharpens your thinking, and you don't know what you think until you write it. Train the body 4 or 5 times a week. You gotta mix strength with cardio. This is how you build energy, mood, cognition, and longevity. Deep work block should be the first thing. 90 minutes, no phone, the hardest task. If you keep the first hour of the morning to yourself, you'll not sell it to other people. Next, we have learn in public. Share what you're learning. Post videos, conversations. It forces clarity and builds your network. Have one hard conversation a week, and precisely the thing you're avoiding. Career and relationships compound on the back of this. Track one metric that matters. Whatever your game is, measure it weekly, because what gets measured gets moved. Save or invest first, and spend second, and you want to automate it. Small amounts early beat big amounts late. Nothing compounds harder than money. Next, we have review weekly, 20 minutes. What worked, what didn't, what's new, because an unreviewed life repeats itself. A very important one is solitude daily, 20 minutes. You want to walk, sit, think, or meditate. Your ideas need room to arrive. Another important one we have is say no by default, because every yes is a no to something better. You want to be very careful with your time here. Another important one we have is teach what you know, because teaching forces mastery. Even if you have one student, even if you explain something to someone, it compounds. Because teaching is how you evolve. Another great habit I have for you is to read one biography every 3 months. You want to take the compressed life lessons from people who've already run the experiment, because again, you want to be a student. So read about other people's experiences. And I hope with these habits, you will pick something you find the most interesting, you haven't thought of, and start implementing it. This is what you want to do, because you want to evolve, you want to grow. And number 4, we have constantly aware of the society, trends, conformity, in contrast with yourself, agency. At this point, I want you to lean closely to your authentic self. You want to become it, and this is precisely what we're studying here, because what you repeat, you become. You want to be true to yourself. Make this choice as often as possible. You don't want to lie to yourself. That's the last person you want to lie, because you can never lie to yourself. You know when you lie to yourself, so why do it? And here, as a subpoint, we have awareness. When you want something, trace it back to the origin. Who's this choice I'm trying to make? What kind of voice is this? Whose voice is this? Is it my desire or somebody else's desire? And you want to look at this. And so we have the ultimate test. If no one could ever know you achieved it, would you still want it? I'll let you answer that question on your own, because you know yourself better. The following subpoint is understanding contrast. Conformity offers belonging, safety, and security. Agency offers meaning, uncertainty, and ownership. Both have costs. If you look around you, you can clearly see what we talk about. And the subpoint number 3, we have practice. Agency is a muscle. Here, we're gonna train agency. We want to repeat. We want to do the reps. You want to do the reps to become more authentically yourself. So here is what you do. From now on, you're going to order what you actually want and not what people expect of you to. You will be leaving the group when you're done. You're not going to engage in anything that's not yourself, just for the sake of social approval, like partying and all that, if that's not you. You will be saying the important thing kindly without making anyone feel bad. You will be picking the harder but the truer path, especially on the low-stake decisions, so you can train yourself for the high-stake ones. So here we have it. This is the map. Where you repeat, you become. I want you to take stock of everything we've talked about today and really craft yourself the vision for what you want, and to start practicing and to start repeating the things and to put in the daily reps that are gonna get you closer to what you want ultimately. Because you want a life that's lived through your own powers. Because I believe this is the only way you can live a proper life. And obviously I want you to treat life like a game, because you're not here to become, you're here to remember. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.